A wall of remembrance that honors American service members who died fighting in the Korean War is riddled with mistakes. The New York Times was first to break this news. The Times reports hundreds of veterans' names are misspelled on the Korean War Memorial Remembrance Wall down on the National Mall. The article says two brothers from Dallas found more than 1,000 spelling errors on the wall. It also incorrectly includes 245 names of service members who died in circumstances unrelated to the war. The brothers also say there are about 500 names that should be listed but are not.
Almost every day we get changes and corrections, changes. Oh, you got my nephew, but you've got his name spelled wrong. You've got my father, but his name's spelled wrong.
The New York Times says the Defense Department acknowledged there were errors on the wall, saying compiling an accurate list was challenging. The department is encouraging family members to notify them of any names that were omitted, misspelled, or included in the error. You can catch the full story coming up on News 4 at 6 o'clock.
A wall of remembrance that honors American service members who died fighting in the Korean War is riddled with mistakes. The New York Times reports that hundreds of veterans' names are either misspelled on the Korean War Memorial Remembrance Wall in the National Mall.
Two brothers uncovered those errors. Sophia Beausoleil with our sister station in Dallas spoke with them today.
Inside this two-bedroom apartment in Dallas, Texas, is where Hal Baker and his brother Ted run the Korean War Project.
My brother started in 1979 to try and figure out what made our dad tick.
Their father, a Marine Corps pilot officer who served in the Korean War, didn't speak much about his time overseas. So as the brothers researched his past, they also collected thousands of stories and information over the years of other service members and have a database for families to reference.
This is a book that I created that has the actual correct names.
More than 36,000 American lives were lost during the Korean War, which has also been called the Forgotten War. Last summer, the Korean War Veterans Memorial Foundation held a dedication unveiling the new black granite on the National Mall, etched with the names of those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. But the Barker brothers say there's a problem.
Almost every day we get changes and corrections, changes. Oh, you got my nephew, but you've got his name spelled wrong. You've got my father, but his name's spelled wrong.
According to their research, there are about 1,000 names misspelled and 500 names are missing from the memorial in D.C.
If you're killed or died in a war, people need to know what your full name was so they can find you and memorialize you properly. A name is everything we have.
In a statement, the Department of Defense says the errors are a very unfortunate mistake and they're working to correct it. They say official records themselves may have contained errors, which made the review challenging. But the Barker brothers say they gave their book of names to the government years ago, but never heard back.
If they had just talked to us and worked with us, we could have saved the United States taxpayers probably $10 to $15 million. Because that's what it's going to take to redo this.
Sophia Beausoleil, NBC News.
A spokesperson for the National Mall and Memorial Parks released a statement that said the National Park Service is honored to care for the Korean War Veterans Memorial, and we stand ready to support the Korean War Veterans Memorial Foundation and Department of Defense for any possible updates to the memorial they identify.